Close your eyes. Picture Rome. Not the Rome you know from postcards, the Colosseum, the fountains, the tourists with their cameras. No. Picture Rome in 1492, a city where power smells like incense and
Please,
tastes
we
like
implore you,
poison.
reconsider.
Where
The consequences
cardinals
will
wear
be
crimson
dire.
and
I
plot
have
in
made my
shadows.
decision. But your
Where the
holiness...
Pope himself has mistresses, bastard children, and ambitions that would make emperors blush. This is the Rome of the
Child, the
Borgias.
path ahead is
And tonight
challenging,
we're
but you
going
are
to
not
tell you
alone.
about the
I
most
understand your
infamous woman
eminence.
Good.
who
Be
ever
strong.
walked its blood-soaked streets. A woman whose name became synonymous with poison, incest, and murder. A woman history painted as a monster for 500 years. Her name was Lucrezia Borgia. But here's the thing about history. It's written by men. And men, especially powerful men, have always been afraid of powerful women. So tonight we're going to tell you the truth. Not the legend, not the myth, the truth. And the truth is stranger, sadder, and far more human than any legend could ever be. April 18th, 1480. A baby girl enters the world in a palazzo near the Vatican. Her mother, Venosa de Catanei, screams for 6 hours before the midwife finally pulls the child free. The room smells like blood and sweat, and the herbs they burn to drive away evil spirits. The baby is small, too small, the midwife thinks. She won't survive the week, but she does. Because this baby, this tiny red-faced creature, is born with something the midwife can't measure. Willpower, intelligence, and the kind of beauty that will one day make kings weep and poets lie. Her father isn't present for the birth. He's busy. He's always busy. His name is Rodrigo Borgia. He's a cardinal. Technically, cardinals aren't supposed to have children. Technically, cardinals are supposed to be celibate, devoted only to God. But Rodrigo Borgia serves a different master, himself. He has 4 children with Venosa, 3 sons and this daughter. He loves them all in his way. But this daughter, this golden-haired girl he names Lucrezia, she will be special. He knows it from the moment he sees her. Not because she's beautiful. Rome is full of beautiful women, but because she has his eyes. Sharp, calculating. The eyes of someone who sees the world as it is, not as it should be. She'll be useful, Rodrigo tells Venosa. Very useful. Venosa, exhausted from childbirth, doesn't ask what he means. She already knows. In Rome, daughters are currency, especially daughters of powerful men. Welcome back. You've just woken up. But this time you're not a cardinal or a king. You're a child. You are Lucrezia Borgia, 6 years old. The year is 1486. You live in your mother's house near the Campo dei Fiori. It's a beautiful house. Marble floors, frescoed ceilings, gardens with fountains where you play with your brothers. Cesare Giovanni Gioffre. Your mother dresses you in silk, teaches you to curtsy, to smile, to speak when spoken to, and shut up when not. But you also learn other things your mother doesn't teach. You learn that your father isn't just a cardinal. He's the most powerful man in Rome after the Pope. You learn that power comes from fear, from favors, from knowing everyone's secrets. You learn that women smile when they hate you and men smile when they want something from you. You're 6 years old, but you're already learning to read the game. One day your father visits. He brings gifts, a doll from Florence, candied fruits, a new dress. But he doesn't come to play with you. He comes to inspect you. He makes you stand in the sunlight, examines your face, your hands, your posture. She's perfect, he tells your mother. Golden hair, clear skin, good teeth. She'll fetch a fortune. You don't understand what he means. Not yet. Your mother does. She's only 6, Rodrigo. I'm thinking ahead. In 6 years, she'll be 12. Marriageable age. By then, I'll be Pope. Your mother laughs. It's a bitter sound. You'll never be Pope. The Spanish cardinals hate you. The French cardinals hate you. Half of Rome hates you. Rodrigo smiles. It's not a kind smile. They hate me now, but they'll fear me soon. And fear is better than love, Venosa. Fear keeps people in line. He leaves without kissing you goodbye. Your mother watches him go, then turns to you. Come here, little one. You climb into her lap. She's soft, warm. She smells like lavender and sadness. Listen to me carefully, she says. Your father is a great man, a powerful man, but he is not a good man. Do you understand the difference? You shake your head. You will, she says quietly. God help you, you will. August 11th, 1492. Your father becomes Pope. You're 12 years old. You stand in St. Peter's Basilica wearing white lace, watching as they place the triple crown on Rodrigo Borgia's head. He takes the name Alexander VI. The crowd roars. Cardinals who despised him yesterday kneel before him today. That's what power does. It transforms hate into obedience. After the ceremony, your father, now the Pope, Now the most powerful man in Christendom calls you to his private chambers. The Vatican is enormous. Endless hallways, rooms filled with gold and art and things you're not supposed to touch. You follow a servant through corridors until you reach a door guarded by Swiss mercenaries. Inside, your father sits behind a desk. But he's not alone. There's a man with him. Older, maybe 40, thin lips, cold eyes. Lucrezia, your father says. This is Count Giovanni Sforza, Lord of Pesaro. You'll be married to him next month. The room tilts. You grip the edge of the desk. I'm 12 and you manage to say. Old enough, your father replies. The contract is signed, the dowry arranged. This marriage will secure our alliance with Milan. You should be honored. You look at Giovanni Sforza. He's staring at you like you're a prize horse he's just purchased. Evaluating, calculating worth. You want to scream, to run, to tell your father that you're a child, that you're not ready, that you don't want this. But you've learned. 6 years of watching your father taught you one lesson above all others. In Rome, women don't choose. They obey. So you curtsy, you smile, you say, yes, father. And something inside you, something small and bright and hopeful, dies. June 12th, 1493. Your wedding day. You're 13 now. They dress you in cloth of gold, put flowers in your hair, paint your face until you look like a porcelain doll. Beautiful, breakable. The ceremony's at the Vatican. Half of Rome attends. Cardinals, nobles, ambassadors from every court in Europe. They watch as you walk down the aisle toward Giovanni Sforza, who waits at the altar with the expression of a man who's just won a very profitable bet. The priest speaks in Latin. You don't listen. You're counting the frescoes on the ceiling. 37, 38, 39, anything to avoid thinking about what comes after. Do you, Lucrezia, take this man? I do. The words taste like ash. Giovanni kisses you. His breath smells like wine and garlic. His hand on your waist is possessive proprietary. This is mine now, that hand says. I own this. At the reception, your father gives a speech about unity, about family, about the bright future ahead. Everyone applauds. Everyone drinks. Everyone pretends they don't know what's really happening. You're not a bride. You're a transaction. Your brother Cesare finds you later hiding in a corridor. He's 15, already studying to be a cardinal, though everyone knows he'd rather be a soldier. He has your father's ambition and none of his patience. You don't have to do this, he says. Yes, I do. Run away? Tonight, I'll help you. You almost laugh. Run where I'm the Pope's daughter. There's nowhere on earth father couldn't find me. Cesare's jaw tightens. Then I'll kill Sforza. No, you won't. I would, for you. You believe him. Cesare has always been different with you. Protective. Maybe too protective. Later historians will whisper about your relationship with your brother, will invent stories of incest and depravity. They'll be wrong, but not entirely wrong, because the truth is complicated. Cesare loves you. Maybe in a way brothers shouldn't love sisters, but he's never touched you, never crossed that line. Still the love is there, dangerous, possessive, a ticking bomb. Go back to the party, you tell him. And Cesare, don't kill my husband, not yet. He grins. It's not a nice grin. Not yet, I like that. He leaves. You stand alone in the corridor listening to the music and laughter from the banquet hall, and you think, this is my life now. This is forever. You're wrong, but you don't know that yet. You leave Rome the next morning. Your new husband takes you to Pesaro, his domain. It's 3 days by carriage, 3 days of Giovanni explaining his lands, his titles, his importance. He talks at you, not to you. You nod and smile and say nothing. Pesaro is smaller than Rome, quieter. The palazzo overlooks the Adriatic. It's beautiful in a lonely sort of way. Your wedding night is worse than you imagined. Not violent. Giovanni isn't cruel, but he's clumsy, impatient, and utterly indifferent to your fear or pain. When it's over, he rolls away and falls asleep immediately. You lie awake staring at the ceiling and think, 6 more hours ago I was a child. Now I'm a wife. And I don't know which is worse, what just happened, or knowing it will happen again tomorrow night and the night after. And every night for the rest of my life. But it doesn't. Giovanni visits your bed perhaps once a week, always briefly, always without affection. The rest of the time he ignores you. He spends his days hunting, drinking, and complaining about your father's politics. You spend your days alone, reading, writing letters to your mother that go unanswered, learning to embroider because it's what wives do. You're 14, then 15, then 16. No children come. Giovanni grows bitter about this. He blames you, of course. Barren, he calls you. Useless. You don't correct him. You don't tell him that children require more than one night a week of joyless coupling. You say nothing, and you wait, because you've learned another lesson. In Rome, patience is a weapon, and you're getting very good at weapons. December 1497. You're 17. You've been married 4 years. No children, no affection, no hope. Then a letter arrives from Rome. Your father's seal. You break it open with shaking hands. Dearest daughter, the political situation has changed. Our alliance with Milan is no longer advantageous. I am therefore seeking an annulment of your marriage to Giovanni Sforza on the grounds of non-consummation. Return to Rome immediately. Your loving father, Alexander VI. You read it 3 times. Then you laugh. It's a slightly hysterical sound. Non-consummation. Your father is claiming the marriage was never consummated, which is a lie. Giovanni has been in your bed. Not often, not well, but enough. But this is how your father operates. Facts don't matter, only what can be proven. And who would dare contradict the Pope? You pack your things. You don't tell Giovanni. You slip out before dawn with 2 servants and ride hard for Rome. Behind you in Pesaro, Giovanni Sforza wakes to find you gone. And he does something you didn't expect. He gets angry. Publicly, humiliatingly angry. He writes letters to every court in Europe. He claims the annulment is a sham, claims the real reason is so you can marry your father or your brother. He accuses you of incest, of depravity, of being the greatest whore in Rome. The letters spread like plague. Within weeks, all of Europe is whispering about you, the Pope's daughter, the woman who supposedly sleeps with her own family. None of it is true, but truth doesn't matter. Reputation does. And your reputation, your name is now synonymous with sin. You arrive in Rome to find the city buzzing with the scandal. Your father is furious, not because the accusations are false, but because they're bad for business. You will deny everything he tells you. I've done nothing wrong. I know, but the court of public opinion doesn't care about facts. Sforza is making us look foolish. You need to make a statement, publicly, in front of witnesses. So you do. You stand in a papal chamber in front of cardinals and ambassadors and swear on the Bible on your immortal soul that you have never committed incest, never slept with your father or your brothers, that Giovanni Sforza is a liar and a coward. The ambassadors nod, the cardinals murmur approval, but you can see it in their eyes. They don't quite believe you. Or maybe they do believe you, but they enjoy the scandal too much to let it go. A woman accused of incest is far more interesting than a woman who's merely innocent. That's when you learn the most important lesson of all. In a world run by men, a woman's virtue is assumed guilty until proven innocent. And sometimes not even proof is enough. Your brother Cesare finds you that night. You're in the gardens alone crying for the first time since you were 12. He sits beside you. Doesn't say anything. Just sits. Finally, I'll kill him, Sforza. Say the word. No. Why not? He destroyed your name. He called you a whore. He deserves to die. Because killing him won't fix anything. The damage is done. All of Europe thinks I'm a monster now. Then we'll make them fear you instead. Fear is better than love, remember Father taught us that. You look at your brother. Cesare is 19 now. Handsome, brilliant, ruthless. He's everything your father wants in a son. Everything the church pretends to condemn but secretly admires. I don't want to be feared, you say quietly. I just want to be left alone. Then you were born into the wrong family. He's right, you know he's right, but knowing doesn't make it hurt less. July 1498, your father arranges a second marriage, this time to Alfonso of Aragon. He's 17, you're 18, he's the illegitimate son of the King of Naples. Handsome, kind, and miracle of miracles, actually happy to marry you. On your wedding night, Alfonso is gentle. He asks permission before touching you, apologizes when you flinch, takes his time. Afterward, he holds you, just holds you. No one has done that since you were a child. I know what they say about you, he whispers. The rumors, I don't believe them. Why not? Because I've met you and you're nothing like the stories. You want to tell him he's naive. That kindness is weakness in Rome. That loving you will get him killed. But you don't, because for the first time in 6 years, you feel something other than fear or resignation. You feel hope. November 1499. You give birth to a son. You name him Rodrigo after your father. He's perfect. 10 fingers, 10 toes. A shock of dark hair and lungs that could wake the dead. Alfonso weeps when he holds him. He's beautiful. You're beautiful. God, Lucrezia, I love you. It's the first time anyone has said those words to you. You don't know how to respond, so you just kiss him. For 1 year, one perfect, impossible year, you're happy. You have a husband who loves you, a son who needs you, a routine that feels almost normal. You walk in the gardens, you read poetry with Alfonso. You nurse Rodrigo and sing him lullabies your mother sang to you. It's the happiest year of your life, which means, of course, it can't last. July 15th, 1500. Alfonso's walking back to your apartments after dinner. It's late. The Vatican corridors are empty. 4 men step from the shadows. They don't say anything. They just attack. Alfonso fights. He's young, strong. But there are 4 of them. They stab him repeatedly. Stomach, chest, throat. He goes down screaming your name. The guards find him an hour later bleeding out on the marble floor. He survives. Barely. You tend him day and night, change his bandages, hold his hand. Pray to every saint you can name. He starts to recover. After 2 weeks, he can sit up. After 3, he can speak again. Who did this? You ask him. I don't know. It was dark. But Lucrezia, his hand grips yours. I think it was your brother. Cesare. I saw his ring on one of the men's fingers, the gold one with the bull. Your blood goes cold. Cesare has been distant lately, ever since your marriage to Alfonso. He doesn't like sharing you. Doesn't like seeing you happy with another man. Could he really know? He wouldn't. He couldn't. But even as you think it, you know it's possible. Because Cesare doesn't see Alfonso as your husband. He sees him as an obstacle, a rival. And Cesare eliminates obstacles. You confront him. Late at night in his chambers. Did you try to kill my husband? Cesare is at his desk reviewing maps. He doesn't look up. No. Liar. I didn't try to kill him. I hired men to kill him. There's a difference. The room spins. You grab the edge of his desk for support. Why bum? Because he's weak. Because he's Aragonese. Because father's politics have shifted and we need an alliance with France now, not Naples. Take your pick. I love him. Now Cesare looks up. His eyes are cold. I know. That's why I'm doing you a favor. Love makes you weak, Lucrezia. Vulnerable. I'm removing the vulnerability. He's the father of my child. And he'll be a dead father if he doesn't recover quickly. Though honestly, I'm impressed. 4 stab wounds and he's still breathing. That's more spine than I gave him credit for. You slap him. Hard. The crack echoes in the room. Cesare doesn't flinch, just touches his cheek, smiles slightly. Feel better. Go to hell. Already there, sister. Already there. You leave before you do something you'll regret, like picking up the dagger on his desk and putting it through his throat. August 18th, 1500. Alfonso is recovering. He can walk now. The color has returned to his face. In another week, he'll be strong enough to travel. You've already made plans to leave Rome. Take Rodrigo and flee to Naples to Alfonso's family, somewhere Cesare can't reach you. But you're too late. You return to Alfonso's sick room one afternoon and find him dead, not from his wounds. Those have healed. Someone strangled him with a silk cord while he slept. The guards claim they saw nothing, heard nothing, because they were paid not to. You don't cry, you don't scream, you just stand there looking at your dead husband and feel something inside you break that will never heal. Cesare appears in the doorway. Lucrezia, get out. I can explain, get out. He leaves, smart man. You sit beside Alfonso's body until they come to take it away. You hold his cold hand and whisper apologies. Sorry I brought you into my family. Sorry I loved you. Sorry love in Rome is a death sentence. You're 20 years old, you've been married twice, widowed once, scandalized, slandered, and now completely, utterly alone. Except for your son, Rodrigo, 1 year old, the only good thing you've ever created. You gather him in your arms and make a promise. You will survive this. You will protect him. And you will never ever let yourself love anyone again. Because love in Rome doesn't heal. It kills. 1500 to 1502. The next 2 years pass in a blur. You go through the motions, smile when expected, curtsy when required, play the role of dutiful daughter. But inside you're planning. Your father wants to marry you off again. Of course he does. You're still young, still useful, still a pawn on his chessboard. This time he's arranged a match with Alfonso d'Este, Duke of Ferrara, one of the richest, most powerful families in Italy. You meet Alfonso in January 1502. He's 25, practical, more interested in artillery than poetry. He looks at you like a business investment, which to be fair you are. I've heard the rumors, he says bluntly. about your first marriage, about your brother, about your reputation. And I don't care. I need your father's political support. You need respectability. This is a transaction. Let's not pretend it's anything else. You almost laugh. After Giovanni's cruelty and Alfonso's doomed kindness, this transactional honesty is refreshing. Agreed, you say. You marry in February. No grand celebration this time. Just a quiet ceremony. You move to Ferrara immediately, and something unexpected happens. Ferrara isn't Rome. February 1502. You arrive in Ferrara on a gray winter morning. The city is smaller than Rome, colder. The people line the streets to watch your carriage pass, and you can hear their whispers. That's her, the Pope's daughter, the one from the scandals. They say she poisoned her second husband. They say she sleeps with her brother. They say she keeps poison in a ring on her finger. None of it is true. But you've learned that truth is negotiable. Reputation is permanent. Your new husband, Alfonso d'Este, Duke of Ferrara, meets you at the Palazzo gates. He's dressed practically, not ostentatiously. His doublet is fine but not extravagant. He looks like a man who values function over form. Welcome to Ferrara, he says, not warmly, not coldly, just stating fact. Thank you, my lord. Let's establish some ground rules. You'll manage the household, represent the family at social functions, handle correspondence with other courts. I'll handle everything else, military, finance, politics. We'll be civil in public. In private, we'll stay out of each other's way. Agreed. It's the least romantic marriage proposal you've ever heard. It's also the most honest. Agreed. He nods. Good. Your chambers are in the East Wing. Dinner is at 7. Don't be late. He walks away without another word. You stand in the courtyard surrounded by servants and luggage and think, this is it. This is the rest of your life. A business arrangement. Nothing more. You're wrong, but you don't know that yet. The first year in Ferrara is lonely. Alfonso keeps his word. He's civil, dutiful. He visits your bed once a week because heirs are necessary. But there's no warmth, no conversation, no connection. The court is polite but distant. They've heard the rumors about you. They watch everything you do, waiting for you to slip up to confirm their worst suspicions. So you give them nothing to work with. You rise early. You manage the household with ruthless efficiency. You write letters, dozens of them every day, to other courts, maintaining alliances, gathering information, making yourself useful. You attend Mass daily, donate to charities, commission art for local churches. Slowly, carefully, you begin to reshape your reputation. You're not the Pope's scandalous daughter anymore. You're the Duchess of Ferrara. Pious, educated, dignified. It's a performance. But you've been performing your whole life. Then something unexpected happens. A young woman arrives at court. Her name is Isabella Gonzaga. She's a few years older than you. Married to the Marquis of Mantua. She's visiting Ferrara for the season. Everyone expects you to hate each other. Two powerful women competing for social supremacy. Instead, you become friends. It starts over poetry. You're reading Petrarch in the garden when Isabella sits beside you uninvited. Is it true, she asks, that you've read Dante in the original Latin? I have. Impressive. Most women can barely read at all. Most women, you say carefully, aren't given the opportunity. Isabella grins. I like you already. She's brilliant, witty, cultured. She collects art, patronizes musicians, debates philosophy with scholars. And she treats you like a person, not a scandal. For the first time since Alfonso of Aragon died, you have a friend. Over the next year, you and Isabella transform Ferrara's court. You host salons, invite poets, philosophers, musicians, commission paintings from the best artists in Italy. Your court becomes known for its culture, its sophistication. You discover you have a talent for this, for recognizing talent, for bringing people together, for creating spaces where ideas flourish. Your husband notices. One evening after a particularly successful concert, he finds you in the library. You've changed things here, Alfonso says. Is that a complaint? No, an observation. When you arrived, this court was provincial. Now ambassadors request invitations to your salons. Artists petition to work for you. You've made Ferrara important. It's the first compliment he's ever given you. Thank you, you say carefully. He nods. Then unexpectedly, I'm sorry. For what? For treating this as purely transactional. You're more than I expected. It's not a declaration of love, but it's something, respect maybe, the beginning of partnership. You smile. You're not what I expected either. What did you expect? Another Giovanni Sforza, another man who sees me as property. And now I think maybe we could be allies. Alfonso considers this. Allies, I can work with that. He leaves, but something has shifted. A door has opened, just a crack. March 15, 03. A letter arrives from Rome. Your father's handwriting. You don't want to open it. Nothing good ever comes from your father's letters. But you're still his daughter, still bound by duty. Dearest Lucrezia, I am dying. The doctors say it is a fever. I know better. Someone has poisoned me. Ironic, isn't it? The Borgia Pope poisoned. They'll laugh about it for centuries. I need you to come to Rome. There are things I must tell you before I die. Secrets, instructions. The family's future depends on it. Come quickly. Your father, Alexander. You read it twice, then burn it. Alfonso finds you watching the ashes curl and blacken. Bad news, he asks. My father is dying. I'm sorry. Or you want to ask, but you don't. I need to go to Rome. Of course, I'll arrange an escort. Thank you. You leave the next morning. Part of you dreads seeing your father again. Part of you needs to, because despite everything, despite the forced marriages, the political manipulations, the way he used you like a game piece, he's still your father. And you still want to hear him say just once that you mattered to him as more than a tool. You arrive in Rome after 4 days of hard riding. The Vatican feels different, smaller, dingier. After Ferrara's clean streets and cultured courts, Rome seems like a nest of vipers dressed in silk. Your father is in his private chambers. The room smells like sweat and herbs and death. He looks terrible. Skin yellow, eyes sunken. The great Rodrigo Borgia reduced to a dying old man in soiled sheets. Lucrezia, his voice is weak. You came. Of course. Liar, you hate me. I don't hate you. You should, he coughs, blood flecks his lips. I used you, treated you like property, destroyed your happiness for political gain. Yes, you did. And yet you're here. You're my father. That doesn't erase what you did, but it means something. He closes his eyes. For a moment, you think he's dead. Then there's money, hidden. I'll tell you where. Use it. Protect yourself. Protect your son. Because when I die, the vultures will circle. Cesare won't last 6 months without my protection. Cesare can take care of himself. No, he can't. He's brilliant, ruthless, but he's also reckless. He thinks power alone is enough. It's not. You need money, Lucrezia. Money buys loyalty. Buy enough loyalty and you can survive anything. He tells you about hidden accounts, properties purchased under false names, gold buried in the crypts beneath churches. You memorize every word. When he's done, he looks at you with something like regret. I'm sorry. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Are you really? No, he laughs. It turns into a cough. I did what I had to do, what any man in my position would do, but I wish I'd been kinder. To you, to your mother, to everyone. Wishing doesn't change anything. No, but maybe it counts for something. At the end, he dies that night, August 18th, 1503. You're holding his hand when it happens. His last words are in Spanish, the language of his childhood. You don't understand them. Maybe that's appropriate. You bury him with full papal honors. All of Rome attends. They weep. They pray. They pretend they loved him. 3 days later, the vultures start circling, just like he predicted. Your brother Cesare loses everything within 6 months. Without your father's protection, the cardinals turn on him. His armies desert. His allies vanish. By March 1504, he's in exile, stripped of titles and land. He writes to you, begs for help, reminds you that your family, that blood matters. You write back, blood matters. But I won't sacrifice my security for yours. I have a son to protect. I'm sorry. You're not sorry. You're practical. Cesare will survive or he won't. But you've learned that saving someone who's drowning will only pull you under too. Meanwhile, in Ferrara, something strange is happening. Your marriage is working. Alfonso still isn't romantic. He'll never write you love poems or serenade you under balconies. But he respects you, consults you on political decisions, trusts your judgment. And slowly, grudgingly, you realize you respect him too. He's a good duke, fair, practical. He doesn't waste money on frivolities, but invests in infrastructure, roads, canals, defenses. Under his rule, Ferrara prospers. And under your cultural patronage, it becomes more than prosperous. It becomes important. Poets dedicate works to you. Artists compete for your commissions. Your salons are attended by the greatest minds in Italy. You're no longer just the Pope's scandalous daughter. You're the Duchess of Ferrara, a patron of arts, a political force. You've reinvented yourself again. September 1505, you give birth to a son. You name him Alessandro after your late father. Alfonso is genuinely happy. An heir, he says, holding the baby with surprising gentleness. You've done well. It's the warmest thing he's ever said to you. You have more children over the next decade, 5 in total. Ercole, Ippolito, Alessandro, Leonora, Francesco. You're a good mother, better than your own mother was. You spend time with them, teach them languages, music manners, prepare them for the world's cruelties without crushing their spirits. But you also never forget the lesson you learned with Rodrigo, your first son. Don't love too much. Don't let them become your weakness. It's a terrible way to live, but it's the only way you know how to survive. 1506 to 1515. The years blur together. Ambassadors visit. Alliances shift. You navigate it all with practiced ease. Your husband grows to rely on you more and more. When he's away inspecting fortifications, meeting with generals, you govern in his absence. Make decisions. Settle disputes. The people of Ferrara love you. Not because you're kind, you're not particularly, but because you're fair. You listen. You remember names. You solve problems. You also never forget what your father taught you. Power requires 3 things: money, fear, and loyalty. You have all 3. Your father's hidden fortune allows you to fund charities, sponsor artists, loan money to nobles. They owe you now, and debt is a chain stronger than steel. Your reputation, the old scandalous one, provides fear. People believe you're capable of anything. Poison, seduction, murder. You don't correct these beliefs. Fear keeps enemies at bay. And loyalty, you buy it. With money, yes, but also with attention, with respect, with making people feel seen. By 1515, you're not just the Duchess of Ferrara. You're the power behind its throne. But then something happens that you didn't plan for. You start to feel tired, not physically, emotionally. You've been performing for 35 years. Smiling when you're miserable, playing the game when you want to scream. And for what? You're 45 years old. Your children are grown. Your husband respects you but doesn't love you. Your reputation is salvaged but never truly clean. You've won. You've survived. You've thrived even. But you're tired. One night you confide in Isabella Gonzaga. She's visiting Ferrara again. You're in the garden drinking wine, watching the stars. Do you ever wish, you say quietly, that you could just stop? Stop what? Performing, playing the role, being the person everyone expects you to be. Isabella considers this. Every day, but we can't. We're women. Our performance is our power. Without it, we're nothing. I'm tired of being powerful. Then what do you want to be? You don't have an answer because you've spent so long surviving that you forgot to figure out what living might look like. March 1519. A letter from Spain. The handwriting is shaky, unfamiliar. Duchess Lucrezia. You don't know me. My name is Maria. I am writing on behalf of your brother Cesare. He is dying. An infection from old wounds. The doctors say he has days, perhaps hours. He has asked me to write to you, to tell you that he is sorry. For Alfonso. For everything. He says he loved you in the only way he knew how, and that he hopes someday you can forgive him. He will not live to receive your reply. Maria de Luna, you read the letter 3 times. Then you do something you haven't done in years. You cry. Not for Cesare, not really. He made his choices, destroyed his own life with ambition and violence. But for what could have been? For the brother you might have had if you'd both been born into a different family. A kinder world. You don't write back. There's nothing to say. But you do light a candle in the chapel, say a prayer for his soul, and then you let him go. Finally. Completely. 1519, you're 39 years old. You've survived 3 marriages, countless scandals, your father's death, your brother's destruction. You're exhausted. That summer, you suffer a series of miscarriages. Your body, after 6 successful pregnancies, finally gives out. The doctors warn you another pregnancy could kill you. You're relieved. No more children, no more vulnerability, but your body doesn't recover well. You're weak, feverish. By autumn, you're bedridden. Alfonso visits you daily. He sits beside your bed. Doesn't say much, just sits. One day you ask him, "Do you regret marrying me?" He considers the question seriously. "No." "Why not? I brought scandal. Complications. I'll never be the perfect duchess." "I don't want perfect. I want competent. And you are the most competent woman I've ever met." It's the closest he's ever come to a declaration of love. You smile. "Thank you." "For what?" "For being honest. For treating me like a partner. For for giving me a chance to be more than my past. He takes your hand. His skin is rough. A soldier's hands, not a courtier's. You were always more than your past. You just needed time to prove it. June 24th, 1519. You wake to pain, not the dull ache you've grown accustomed to over the past months. This is sharp, consuming. Your abdomen feels like it's tearing itself apart from the inside. You've given birth 6 times. You know what labor feels like. This is worse. Your servants find you at dawn writhing in sheets soaked with sweat and blood. They summon the doctors, the priests, your husband. Alfonso arrives still in his night clothes. His face is gray. Lucrezia, I'm dying, you say, not dramatically, just stating fact. You've always been good at reading the room. In this room, your body is telling you everything you need to know. No, the doctors are useless. I've seen enough death to recognize it. He sits beside you, takes your hand. For the first time in 17 years of marriage, you see tears in his eyes. Don't, you say gently, don't mourn me. I've had a better life than I deserved. That's not true, isn't it? After everything I did, you survived. In a world designed to destroy you, you survived. That's not luck. That's strength. You want to believe him, want to believe that survival alone is enough. That living through hell makes you heroic rather than just scarred. But you're not sure. You won't ever be sure. Your children visit throughout the day. Urkel, your eldest, tries to stay strong, but his voice breaks when he says goodbye. Alessandro holds your hand and tells you about his studies. Leonora, just 12, crawls into bed beside you and cries into your shoulder. You tell them you love them. It's harder than it should be. The Borgias never said such things. Love was weakness. Ammunition for enemies? But you say it anyway, because maybe you can break that cycle. Give them something your father never gave you. Be good to each other, you whisper. Don't let ambition destroy your family like it destroyed mine. They promise. You don't know if they'll keep that promise, but at least you tried. Alfonso brings a priest. You confess. Not because you believe it will save your soul, that ship sailed long ago, but because it's expected. And you've always been good at meeting expectations. Do you repent? The priest asks. Of your sins, you consider the question. Which sins? Being born a woman in a man's world, obeying my father, trying to survive. All sin must be repented. Then I repent, but I don't regret. There's a difference. The priest looks uncomfortable, but he gives you last rites anyway, because even scandalous duchesses deserve the sacraments. After he leaves, Isabella Gonzaga arrives. She's traveled from Mantua overnight. When she heard you were dying, she sits beside you. Her face is puffy from crying. Don't you dare, you say. Don't I dare what? Mourn me. I've had enough tears from everyone. Then what should I do? Remember me, but not the legends, not the scandals. Remember the real me, the woman who loved poetry, who built something beautiful here, who tried despite everything to be better than her blood. Isabella grips your hand so hard it hurts. I will. I swear. Good. Now go. I want Alfonso. Alone. When everyone else is gone, Alfonso returns. He looks older suddenly, the gray in his beard more pronounced, the lines around his eyes deeper. I need to tell you something, you say. You don't have to be... Yes, I do, before I run out of time. He sits, waits. When I married you, I thought I would never love again. Love had only ever hurt me, so I locked that part of myself away. Became practical, transactional. I know. Let me finish. I thought I could live that way, and maybe I could have. But somewhere along the way, I don't even know when I stopped pretending, stopped performing. With you, I became real, and that scared me more than anything. Alfonso's voice is rough. Why are you telling me this now? Because I'm dying, and I don't want to die without you knowing that I loved you. Not the way I loved Alfonso of Aragon, that was youthful, desperate love, but a quieter kind, a steadier kind. The kind built from respect and partnership and years of just existing together. A tear slides down his cheek. He doesn't wipe it away. I loved you too, he says quietly. I just didn't know how to say it. We Estes aren't good with words. No, but you were good to me. That's what mattered. You fall silent. He holds your hand. Outside, rain continues to fall. It's a gentle sound, peaceful. I'm afraid, you admit, of dying, of being forgotten. Or worse, being remembered only for the lies. For 500 years, they'll tell stories about me, about poison rings and incest and murder. And none of it will be true, but that's what history will remember. Then we'll tell the truth. I'll commission historians. Make sure your real story is recorded. You smile weakly. History doesn't care about truth, only about good stories. And I'm a very good story. Then be a good story, but be our good story, my wife, my partner. The woman who saved Ferrara, not the lies Rome told. It's a beautiful thought. You want to believe it's possible, but you've learned that what we want and what we get are rarely the same thing. The pain is getting worse. The doctors give you something, poppy milk, maybe mixed with wine. It dulls the edge but doesn't remove it. You drift in and out. Sometimes you're in Ferrara. Sometimes you're 12 years old again, standing before Giovanni Sforza, about to have your life destroyed by marriage. Sometimes you see your mother. She's singing a lullaby. You can't remember the words, but the melody is familiar, comforting. Sometimes you see Alfonso of Aragon, young, smiling, unhaunted. I knew what they said about you, he says again. I didn't believe them. I know, you whisper. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Don't be, we had a year. Some people never get that. Late afternoon, the sky is clearing. Sunlight breaks through the clouds, casting golden light across your chamber. Alfonso is still beside you. He's been there for 8 hours. Are you still here, you ask. Your voice is barely audible. Always. Liar, but thank you. You try to say more. There's so much more you want to say. About your children, about your regrets, about hoping that maybe somewhere beyond this life, there's a place where women like you can rest without performing. But your tongue won't work. Your lungs won't cooperate. You squeeze Alfonso's hand. Once. Twice. He understands. I know, I love you too. You close your eyes, and for the first time in 39 years, you stop fighting. Stop calculating. Stop trying to survive. You just let go. They bury you in the convent of Corpus Domini. Simple tomb, no grand monument. Alfonso keeps his promise. He commissions historians to document your life. The real one. But he's fighting a losing battle. Within a decade, the legends overwhelm the truth. Poets write plays about you. The incestuous daughter, the poisoner, the whore of Babylon. They make you immortal, but they make you a monster. For 500 years, your name becomes synonymous with evil. Lucrezia Borgia, say it, and people think of poison, betrayal, depravity. Victor Hugo writes a play about you in 1833. Gaetano Donizetti turns it into an opera. In both, you're a murderer, a seductress, a villain. No one mentions that you were 13 when you were first married, that you had no choice, that you spent your entire life trying to escape the legacy your father forced upon you. No one mentions that you became one of the greatest cultural patrons of the Renaissance, that you governed Ferrara wisely, that you raised your children with love. No one cares. Because history loves a scandal more than it loves the truth, 1905. A historian named Maria Bellonci begins researching your life, not the legend, the actual historical record. She reads your letters, hundreds of them, letters to your children, letters to Isabella, letters to other noble women across Italy. What she finds surprises her. You weren't a poisoner. There's no evidence you ever harmed anyone. You weren't incestuous. The accusations came from a bitter ex-husband trying to avoid an annulment. You were just a woman, intelligent, cultured, doing your best in impossible circumstances. Bellonci publishes her biography, Lucrezia Borgia, The Life and Times. It's controversial. Critics accuse her of whitewashing a monster, but slowly other historians begin to re-examine the evidence. And slowly your reputation begins to shift. 1967, another historian, Sarah Bradford, publishes Lucrezia Borgia, Life, Love, and Death in Renaissance Italy. She's more thorough than Bellonci. She examines every accusation, traces every rumor to its source. Her conclusion, you were a victim of misogyny and propaganda, a pawn in your father's political games, and later a remarkably successful ruler who happened to be female. The book becomes a bestseller. Suddenly, feminists claim you as a symbol, a woman destroyed by patriarchy, a survivor. It's closer to the truth, but it's still not quite right, because you weren't just a victim. You were complicated. You made choices, some good, some questionable. You survived, yes, but you also wielded power when you could. You were human, which is the one thing history never wants its legends to be. 2024. A man walks through the Pinacoteca Nazionale in Bologna. He's 76 years old, retired history professor, visiting Italy for the first time. He stops in front of a painting, portrait of a young woman, Renaissance era. The subject wears a simple dress, no jewelry, no adornment. But her eyes are remarkable. Intelligent, sad, knowing. The placard reads, Lucrezia Borgia, Duchess of Ferrara, artist unknown, circa 1518. The man stares at the painting for a long time. He's heard of you, of course. Everyone has. The poisoner, the Pope's wicked daughter, the Renaissance femme fatale. But this painting shows none of that. It shows a woman, just a woman, tired, perhaps ill. This was painted a year before you died, but dignified, strong. He thinks about his own life, about the choices he made, the compromises, the times he did what was expected rather than what he wanted, the masks he wore to survive. He thinks maybe she wasn't so different from the rest of us, just trying to get through, to protect the people she loved, to leave something behind that mattered. He takes a photo of the painting. That night, he looks you up online, falls down a rabbit hole of historical articles, reads about the recent scholarly consensus that you were maligned and misunderstood, caught between impossible forces. He learns about your patronage of the arts, your governance of Ferrara, your children who went on to rule successfully. He learns that you weren't a monster, you were just a woman who refused to be destroyed. And he thinks history owes you an apology. He writes an essay, just a short one, posted on his blog. The real Lucrezia Borgia, a woman history got wrong. He doesn't expect anyone to read it. It's just an old man's rambling. But it goes viral. Thousands of shares, tens of thousands. People are hungry for this story, for the truth behind the legend. News sites pick it up. Scholars say Lucrezia Borgia was victim, not villain. Podcasts discuss your life. YouTube channels analyze the evidence. TikTok historians, a sentence that would have baffled you, make videos defending your reputation. 500 years after your death, the world is finally willing to listen. Not everyone believes it. Some people prefer the legend, the dangerous woman, the poisoner, because that story is more exciting. But more and more, the truth is winning. You were Lucrezia Borgia, daughter, wife, mother, duchess, patron of arts, political strategist. You were not perfect. You made mistakes. You occasionally used the weapons available to you, manipulation, secrets, calculated coldness. But you were not evil. You were not a monster. You were a woman trying to survive in a world designed to destroy you. And against all odds, you succeeded. If you could speak now, if the dead could somehow know how they're remembered, what would you say? Maybe this: I was 13 when they took my childhood, married me to a stranger, made me property. I was 17 when they called me a whore for surviving a loveless marriage. I was 20 when my husband was murdered, and my brother smiled about it. I spent my entire life being used by my father, by the church, by men who saw me as a tool or a trophy or a threat. And yes, I survived. I became powerful in my own right. I built something beautiful in Ferrara. I gave my children better than I had, but I never wanted to be legendary. I just wanted to be free. You called me a poisoner. I never poisoned anyone. You called me incestuous. I was accused by a liar trying to save himself. You called me a monster. I was a girl forced to become a woman too fast in a world with no mercy for weakness. For 500 years, you told lies about me, and I couldn't defend myself. The dead don't get to argue, but now finally some of you are listening. Some of you are asking, what if we got it wrong? And to you I say thank you. Thank you for seeing me. Not the legend, not the scandal, just me. I was Lucrezia Borgia. I lived. I survived. I loved and lost and tried and failed and tried again. I was human. That's all. That's everything. Remember me not as a monster, but as a woman who did her best in impossible circumstances. That's the only vindication I need. 2025. The city of Ferrara holds a commemoration. 506 years since your death. They unveil a new statue in the piazza. Not a sensationalized version, no suggestive pose, no poison ring. Just you, standing, dignified. A book in one hand, the other extended in welcome. The inscription reads, Lucrezia Borgia, 1480 to 1519, Duchess, patron, mother. History misjudged her, we remember her now. Hundreds attend, historians, feminists, Italian officials, tourists who just heard the story and wanted to be part of it. An elderly woman, a direct descendant of your daughter, Leonora, gives a speech. My ancestor, she says, has been slandered for half a millennium. Today we begin to correct that injustice. Lucrezia Borgia was not a villain. She was a survivor. And in surviving, she became something more. A symbol, a reminder that women have always been more than history has allowed them to be. The crowd applauds. Somewhere, if the dead can see such things, maybe you smile. Not because you're vindicated. Vindication came too late to matter. but because finally, after 500 years, someone told the truth, and the truth set your memory free. There's a theory in physics. That time doesn't move forward, that everything that ever happened is still happening somewhere in some dimension of reality. If that's true, then you're still there. Still 13 standing in the Vatican about to marry Giovanni Sforza. Still 20 holding dead Alfonso's hand. Still 39 dying in Ferrara with your husband beside you. All of it happening at once. Forever. And maybe in that eternal, now you can finally hear what took 500 years to say, we're sorry we believed the lies. We're sorry we made you a monster to entertain ourselves. We're sorry we forgot that you were human. You deserve better. In life, in death, in memory. You were Lucrezia Borgia, and you were never the villain. You were just a woman, fighting, surviving, trying to carve out one small space of dignity in a world determined to deny you even that. And you succeeded, against all odds, against all expectations. You survived. You thrived. You left a legacy not of poison, but of art and culture and children who loved you. That's the truth. Finally, that's the story we should have told all along. Sleep well, Lucrezia. The lies are crumbling. The truth is spreading. 500 years late, but coming nonetheless. Your name will always carry shadows. That's the curse of legend. But now finally it also carries light. You were not the monster they said you were. You were a woman. Complicated, flawed, human. And that's enough. That's everything. Rest now. Your story has been told. The real one. And the world at long last is listening.